Safety, Health, and Welfare meeting this evening at 7:31. Present are committee members Williamson, Glassburn, and Kelly, council members Gilchrist, Heeman, Lindbergh, and Scarl, the mayor, the directors of law, human resources, economic development, safety, and the special assistant to the mayor. The only item on the agenda is liquor permit number 226-250-50050 for DoorDash Essentials LLC doing business as Dashmart West Unit located at 23100 Lorraine Road. After review by the police department and seeing no issues, I'm going to recommend to not object and ask for second. Second by Mr. Kelly. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes with a vote of 3-0. Our meeting concludes at 7:32 p.m. Thank you.
Good.
He's on the mend.
I would like to begin the Intra-Governmental Relations Committee at 7:35 tonight. Present are council committee members Gilchrist, Heeman, and Scarl, council members Glassburn, Kelly, and the mayor, law director, HR director, economic director, safety director, service director, special assistant to the mayor, and guests. The purpose of this evening's meeting is to consider the mayor's appointment, recommendations to the Building Zoning Board of Appeals and the Arts Commission. We will begin with Mr. Mike Kovach being considered for the Building and Zoning Board of Appeals to fill a vacant position for the term of January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2023. Welcome and thank you for being here and volunteering your time to serve the community. Would you like to speak to the committee before we open for questions? Okay.
Well, my name is Mike Kovach. I'm a West Sider. I've lived here my whole life. I graduated from Westlake High School in 1988. So I've seen, the 70s, the 80s, 90s, the West Side, North Homestead, Westlake sprout up. Both of my boys went to schools, North Homestead, graduated in 2013, 2015. And now to see, the schools, the high school, built, and it's great for the city. It's just I wish my boys could have been. They always used to nickname the school Hogwarts. So it was so old, but I'm glad that finally got done. I'm happy to be here. I think in my career, I've always, the last span about 30 years, I've been involved with the architectural engineering fields. And for me, I think, I've done projects in North Homestead. We did the brand new fire station in 2007 down Lorraine Road. We've done some stuff in the rec center, John Knox Church. But I think for my career, I think this is the next step. Maybe now my boys are gone, I have a little more time, maybe to get back to the city, or where I live, and not so much.
That's awesome, and I wanted to thank you for volunteering and wanting to get active in our community. It's great to have people who live here that want to be involved, and I see that you worked on projects in the city and stuff, and so that's awesome.
And that helps add into the growth, and I've been a very teeny tiny part of it. Being in the engineering with what I've done, so it's kind of means a lot when you work on something you see it built.
Yeah.
And so it kind of helps the city grow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Heeman, as a member of the committee, do you have any questions for our for opening this?
A few comments, if you don't mind. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd also like to thank you for volunteering. It really is, I think, very worthwhile, particularly with your background. BZBA needs, all of the things that you bring, all the electrical, the plumbing, and those things, CAD drawing, because that's a final step committee, really. And so it's very important if a resident or someone wanted to appeal something that we have very knowledgeable.
Well, that's the thing. When I was here in July for an interview, I looked at some previous cases, I think maybe June or July, and one of them had to be a generator. I think some of the homeowners will put a generator on they needed a variance or something. So at least I know kind of what's involved and what, I know what a generator is, I know how much room it takes up, but in terms of land.
Well, and to apply that then to our own building codes, and then, opportunities to apply them both and work within it. So thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Scarl, as a member of the committee, do you have any questions before opening this?
No real questions, just a couple comments. First of all, reiterate again, like the other committee members, thank you for your time and service. If you're appointed to this position, I've done it my lifetime here on the rec department, and it takes some time. I was like you, had to wait until my kids were up and out of household, so I could have a little more time to do things. And your resume is very impressive. Like I said, Councilwoman Heeman said, you have all the background. You have electrical, HVAC, all mechanical, the plumbing. That's a huge thing, and I think we need a committee like that. Your input will help with the rest of the members. So,
Thank you.
I'm impressed. Thank you.
Okay, and at this point, I will open up to the rest of the council. Are there any questions from council?
So I don't have a copy of your resume, so real quickly, could you just tell me your background?
It's probably about the last 27, 28 years. I've been involved in architectural engineering, fields, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, architectural. Right now, I work with Keen Engineering Group in Parma, with electrical engineers. Pretty much work on anything, commercial, residential, a lot of West Side stuff, but we're doing a lot of these crunch fitnesses around the country. Before that, I did mechanical, plumbing, and HVAC for Bilaski, Cleveland, the downtown. Pretty big architectural engineering firm. In fact, we were the ones who started the engineering department in that firm. I was with Tim Norris for 15 years, and Bilaski's been in the city for 50 years. And they were looking for an engineer, and they kind of bought us out, so we kind of went there and started their engineering department there. And when COVID, I was there 5-6 years. Then COVID hit, and we kind of never letting people go. So I was one of them. But you know, I just hung my head. I've always been resourceful. I never panicked. You know, people lose their jobs and stuff happens, but you just gotta keep fighting. You know.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Okay. Seeing no other questions, I would like to thank you for your time this evening, and we'll move on to welcome Mr. Sean McGrath. Is that how you say it?
McGrath.
McGrath, okay. The mayor's appointee to the Arts Commission to fill a vacant position for the term of January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2025. We thank you for being here and volunteering your time to North Olmsted. I think art is such a important thing in music. I saw your background is all in music, and that's so awesome. You know, music is just another way of expressing ourselves, I think, and that's wonderful. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we open it up?
Sure, yeah, I'll just take this time to introduce myself right quick. My name is Sean McGrath. I'm a professional opera singer, and I'm based right here in North Olmsted, Ohio. And it's a great place to be based out of because we're really, really close to the airport. And one of the great things about that is we're so close to a lot of the hotels that house a lot of our flight attendants and a lot of pilots and such. And there's a lot of partnerships to be had and such. As someone who has the business mindset that incorporates not just, you know, get out there and do gigs and make money behind my opera singing, I also tend to think generally outside the box. And so when it comes to this art commission, I really love the ideas that everyone else has brought to the table. And I am very anxious to see what I might be able to bring to the table. And so I'm very, very tickled to be here tonight and to meet all of you, and happy to answer any questions that you might have for me. So thank you.
So Ms. Heeman, as a member of the committee, do you have any questions?
No questions, but I think that your background is pretty amazing, really. I worked at a Cleveland school, and we have someone that also sings opera. And once in a while, we get to enjoy it.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to programs that you might be able to bring to the city for some of our summer events. I think that would be very nice. Thank you.
And Mr. Scaro, as a member of the committee, do you have any questions?
Again, no questions. Just thank you for being here and wanting to be on this committee. Pretty amazing. I'm not into opera. I like listening to it, but someday I hope I can hear you belt out a few. Appreciate it.
Belt out.
At this point, I will open it up to the rest of council. Do you have any questions? No? Okay. Seeing no other questions, I would like to thank you for attending this evening. So I will move on to recommend the Intra-Governmental Relations Committee approve the appointee of Mr. Mike Kovach to the Building and Zoning Board for Appeals for the term of January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2023. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. The motion passes 3-0. And next, I will move on to recommend the Intergovernmental Relations Committee approve the appointee of Mr. Sean McGrath to the Arts Commission for the term of January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2025, and ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor say yes.
Aye.
Alright, the motion passes 3-0. That completes the Intra-Governmental Relations Committee at 7:45. Thank you both for coming.
This is for suspension. These are the ones where, whoever's making the motion, that person's
Thank you.
So,
You explained to your dad why I was randomly roaming his side of the street.
sorry.
When I ran into you. Yeah.
So, do you want to do Wednesday?
Hi, how are you?
What's the choice? What are the options?
I mean, we usually do Wednesday, so we could do Wednesday or Thursday or Wednesday. That's up to you, and then do you guys wanna do them virtually or in person, doesn't matter.
I'm sorry? Yeah.
7, we start at 7:15.
If everyone's good with that, just do, can we do it virtually?
Well, it's like sports night, Wednesday sports night.
Then we're talking about
Wednesday for committee meetings, I just wanna clear it before we go ahead and open up the meeting.
Well,
Wednesday, the ninth, is it the ninth? Since the election's
that-
on
that
Tuesday.
actually is-
Oh, yes, I will be available. I made sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
don't.
the ninth,
Yeah, I have a meeting that night, so I can't do this.
okay.
Do we have any, do we have any BZD?
No.
Public safety, streets and transportation and finance.
Michael, how long is one since
Oh, no, we, yeah, this is just an update.
Oh, yeah, no.
Right,
I
right.
just-
Another one.
Yeah.
But that's just, yeah, see, because I really, this is 106 and I don't know.
I didn't ask. 106 is the clarification, 2022-100.
No, we're asking for suspension tonight.
It just,
It's just everybody, that's why it's so wasn't taken off of us.
okay.
No, but I was asking if it was sufficient, Ms. Heenan said she wasn't gonna be able to make.
No, it's okay, I'm good.
Okay, you're good now? Okay, alright.
Okay, so we'll begin the caucus meeting of November 1st, 2022. We'll now come to order at 7:50 p.m. Present are council members Gilchrist, Glassburn, Human, Kelly, Ruppert, Scarlett, Williamson, the mayor, the directors of law, finance, human resources, economic development, safety, service, and the special assistants to mayor and guests. If there are no additions or corrections to the caucus meeting minutes of October 18th, they are approved as written. There are 5 items on the agenda being requested for suspension this evening. The first is resolution 2022-94 on second reading. Mayor Jones, would you like to?
Thank you, Madam President. Requesting suspension tonight, that was heard in committee last week, and the request for suspension is because of the high, the prices of things that keep getting higher, literally as the days go on. if council would approve us to go out to bid for the rental of the golf carts, we would appreciate being able to do that very quickly here.
Thank you, Mayor. Are there any objections from council for suspension?
I just had one question. So we were gonna get more golf carts, rent more this time?
Yes.
Do we have an idea of how much additional that would cost based on suspending?
I think it was, we were requesting, I think 4 to 5 additional golf carts so that if there was a golf outing, there would be a full complement.
Yeah.
Compared to last year, we can get you those numbers. I don't have those with me this evening.
I would just be curious because we're concerned about rates and prices being up, expanding it, like is that a material, add material impact? I guess I don't have an issue suspending, but I would like to get those numbers. I'm assuming they did that as part of the assessment.
We can get those from council.
Just note, I believe we asked Director Pinchuk about this, when he was here for the committee, and he said something to the effect of, expected that the additional carts would generate additional revenue, which would cover that expense.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And that the maintenance, requirements can't be met by our current vendor anyway, and so that we weren't really keeping enough carts out there.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
And the ratio is 17% new ones every year as a cycle based on that maintenance.
Okay. All right, the next item being requested for suspension is resolution 2022-100 on first reading. Mayor Jones, would you like to?
Thank you, Madam President. Director Upton is going to address council regarding this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Madam President, members of council, resolution 2022-100 establishes a moratorium on the issuance of building, zoning, and occupancy permits. As a brief reminder, the purpose of the zoning code within the city is to provide for the orderly development of the land in a manner that preserves public peace, health, safety, convenience, comfort, prosperity, and general welfare of the residents in the city. While it is true that there are establishments that sell the products in questions that are subject to this moratorium, there's a distinct difference that this legislation makes between purchasing this substance at a retail establishment and the sale and consumption on site. This legislation seems to have a moratorium on sale and consumption on site. At this point in time, we simply do not have enough information to answer what I consider the two basic questions relative to zoning. Should establishments that allow for the sale and consumption on site of kava, kratom, Delta 8, Delta 9, and other like products, should they be allowed in our city? And if so, where? Like I said, I don't have those answers, which is why I'm asking council to give myself and my colleagues time to make a fully informed decision in order to preserve the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens.
So you mentioned other like products, that's not in the resolution. Is that something that we would need to amend, or are you comfortable?
No, it's just a matter of my speech.
Okay.
It's not material to the legislation.
Okay, thanks.
Are there any objections from council to suspension of this piece?
No, just a comment, just a comment. I talked to the director on this, and we've had a few, this area of retail has come up a few times this year, so this is a little bit of a new twist, and it would be good, I think, to hold it and have a conversation about it and get more educated.
Okay. The next item being requested for suspension is ordinance 2022-103 on first reading.
Madam President, 103 and 104 are going to be addressed by Finance Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to provide you the market conditions that are causing us to have to come back to council to adjust the maximum rate of interest for both the tax exempt bond anticipation note that we're buying spruce with for that's 103, and then 104 is for forest, which is our taxable bonds, or notes rather. And this was done on at the end of the day, October 31st. Today, the 1-year treasury closed at 4.75, so it went up from 4.66 to 4.75 in another day. So this is just what we've been dealing with. The maximum rate of interest is intended to allow flexibility for the sale of notes. The maximum rate stated in our original notes still may be okay. That's obviously, we're trying to get the best deal for the community. But we can't go to the market without the greater flexibility because we could not be able to sell them at where they're at right now. So to be able to have a successful sale, we're increasing the spruce, which is the tax exempt one, from a maximum rate of 4 to a maximum rate of 5%. And 104 is forest, and we're increasing that from a maximum rate of taxable rate of 5% to 6%. And as you can tell, this line right here, we introduced them in September, and you can tell these rates have gone dramatically. And all notes are based on the MIG 1 rating and the the 1-year treasury. That's how they're priced and stuff. So that's why these are the things that we're looking at when we're determining what we can sell them for. Is there any other questions? Any questions, rather?
So, Director, how long are we expecting it to take to conduct the sale of these? I'm just a little surprised we hadn't already done it, so.
Well, remember there's 3 readings and then there's a 30-day referendum period.
Yeah.
So we weren't able to sell them until October 21st. And we're working with the schools to get a signed agreement. And I'm not going to the market without a signed agreement. So I think we're there almost, but you have it signed, that signed for them?
No, I don't. It's
They have
here,
it, yeah.
You
So
it's sent to them, they have it.
So, that was, but the majority of it happened very quickly during that time anyway. So I think we would have been in the same situation no matter what. We're looking to go out the day after the election day, so that's the 9th.
Okay.
And we're gonna try and get it closed as quickly as possible. I think the 22nd is when I close the notes, but I think that there's some other issues with, okay, so.
All right, thank you.
And I am requesting suspension on first reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any objections from council to suspension of ordinance 2022-103 or 104?
Is there a risk that we would, when does the rate lock in, I guess, is my question. When does
The day we sell, so on Wednesday, the 9th, when we go to the market to sell our notes.
So is there a risk that we would expand beyond the cap further, or do you feel very?
Well, I wouldn't be able to do that because the cap is in place on the ordinance, so.
Right, that's why I'm asking, are you comfortable that we're not gonna exceed the cap?
I can only tell you what our experts are telling us, and they feel comfortable with this. It's, so.
Okay, thank you.
I call an emergency meeting, who knows, right?
So are there any objections from council to suspension on these 2 cases? Okay, seeing none, the last item.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The last item being requested for suspension is ordinance 2022-107 on first reading.
Madam President, Law Director Burrow.
Thank you, members of council. This is the ultimate definition of just kind of cleaning something up. The duties assigned to the current position of Economic Community Development Director are set in the ordinance, but they're also included in the job description and file with the Director of Human Resources. Left over in the zoning code and probably 14 or 15 other sections of the codified ordinances are references to all the prior positions that they're similar, that have different names. And I will probably someday roll out with the 15 pieces of legislation to clarify all that. But in the meantime, I would ask your indulgence, because we're just simply stating that anywhere in the code where it references planning and development director, director of planning and community development, or planning director, that we are referring to economic and community development director, and that he's going to perform those duties. He's been doing it, it's legal, it's just a matter of cleaning it up just a little bit going forward. And at a point in the future, when we have a zoning code amendment, maybe I'll draft the zoning code amendment in there, so not advertising and spending money on it, but it's just cleaning up. So if you think that's suspended, I appreciate it.
Are there any objections from council to suspension? Okay, assigning legislation, ordinance 2022-98 will be assigned to public safety, health, and welfare. Motion will be made this evening to remove ordinance 2022-106 from the agenda. Ordinance 2022-99 and resolutions 2022-101 and 102 will be assigned to the Streets and Transportation Committee, and ordinance 2022-105 will be assigned to Finance. Due to the elections being next Tuesday, we will be having our meetings on Wednesday at 9. So I will schedule a Public Safety, Health, and Welfare Committee meeting on ordinance 2022-98 for Wednesday, November 9th at 7:15 p.m. For 10 minutes, and I would ask that the mayor or her designee be present. Councilman Rathburn, would you like to schedule a finance committee meeting for 2022-05?
Sure, we'll do that at 7:25, and this meeting will be online, is that correct?
Correct. If that's the pleasure of council. Councilman Kelly, would you like to schedule streets and transportation?
For how long?
Let's say 5 minutes.
Sure. Streets and transportation, it started at 7:30 for 2022-99, 101 and 102.
99 and 102, yes.
And ask for our economic.
He answers to all of them.
Call him whatever you want.
Community planning, economic director.
Don't call me late for dinner.
And other duties as
And,
assigned.
Or sure.
And Director Carney.
Thank you. And those meetings will be held virtually next week. Does anyone on council have anything else they wish to bring up this evening? Anything from the administration? No, Madam President. Thank you, Mayor. All right, seeing nothing else, caucus meeting with November 1st is adjourned at 8:04 p.m.